They can't believe the money Alcaraz has earned after winning Queens. Carlos Alcaraz began the season with the disappointment of once again falling in the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, the only one of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments not yet in his trophy cabinet. He also had a scare during the clay court swing in the form of muscle warnings in both thighs, his right adductor and his left hamstring. But nothing has stopped his rise. He began to bounce back after admitting he had hit rock bottom following his loss to Belgian David Goffin in Miami at the end of March. He found redemption on clay. Champion in Monte Carlo, Rome, and Roland Garros, and finalist in the Barcelona Open, Godot, where he suffered the muscle discomfort that kept him from competing for the title, ultimately won by Danish player Holger Rune, and which also caused him to withdraw from Madrid a few days later. That's now 18 consecutive matches won, 5 tournaments claimed, after capturing his second ATP 500 at Queens by defeating Czech Lehecka in the final. He regains dominance on grass, a surface he had already mastered in 2023, a preview of his later dominance at Wimbledon. All of this is reflected not only in the world ranking, where he's on track to dethrone Jannik Sinner during the North American swing in August and September, but also in Carlos Alcaraz's bank account. At just 22 years and 1 month old, he's on track to become one of the top earning players in terms of prize money. The ATP and his fellow players can't believe his meteoric rise, although he's making the extraordinary seem routine. At Queens, he received a check, pre-tax, worth €471,755. It's not the €2.5 million from Roland Garros, but it helps push him past the €45 million mark in total ATP earnings, solidifying his place at 7th in the all-time prize money rankings. So far this season, he has already surpassed €7 million, and we're not even halfway through the year. These figures multiply when you include sponsors, exhibitions, and appearance fees, sources from which star players earn more than they do from standard tour events. Carlos Alcaraz is on fire just 1 week before Wimbledon begins, which has announced record prize money for 2025. If he manages a 3rd straight title, he'll take home £3 million, around €3.5 million. Alcaraz's words after conquering the Queens tournament: "I had to reset and show my best tennis." The Spanish tennis player lost the 2nd set in a tiebreak and needed a 3rd set to claim the match. Carlos Alcaraz continues to break new ground in his career by winning the prestigious Queens tournament in London and capturing his first grass court title of the season. With this achievement, the young Mercian reaffirms his status as one of the top prospects in world tennis. The final, played against Czech player Jiří Lehecka, was an intense battle in which Alcaraz demonstrated his ability to overcome tough moments and bring out his best on a surface where he's still aiming to solidify his game. With the Queens title under his belt, he moves forward toward Wimbledon with momentum. The tournament's final was not easy for the Spaniard. Although he got off to a strong start by taking the first set 7-5, Alcaraz faced a serious challenge in the second, losing it 6-7 after a tight tiebreak. However, the Mercian kept his cool, reset mentally, and regained control in the 3rd set, which he comfortably won 6-2. With a strong serve and a powerful forehand as his main weapons, he was able to neutralize his rival's comeback attempts and seal the victory. After the match, the Spaniard reflected on the game and the difficulties he faced. "It was tough to lose the 2nd set, a bit disappointing with the double fault because I was serving well. It was hard because I was controlling the match and feeling great. The 2nd set could have given him a boost, but I tried to stay positive and calm. I reset my mind, started from scratch, and kept playing good tennis," said Alcaraz, clearly pleased with how he handled the situation. The Queens tournament holds special meaning for the young Spaniard, who acknowledged how important it is to win a title like this in his career. "It feels great, it's been a positive and incredible week. It's always great to win tournaments. Doing it at Queens is a bit special, for the 2nd time in my career. It's been a week where I didn't have many expectations. I came to feel comfortable on grass, and winning is special for me and my team," he explained. Alcaraz also emphasized the effort and hard work behind this new title, stating that it means a lot to him and his team. "Winning this trophy is special for me. I'm happy to have done it again," he said with emotion. With this victory, the Mercian not only gains confidence but also strengthens his preparation for Wimbledon, the 3rd Grand Slam of the year, where he hopes to continue making history. Alcaraz's speed, power, and hunger for titles were crucial in achieving this win. Although Lehecka tried to counter with drop shots at the net, the Spaniard showed patience and composure to wait for the right moment to break his opponent's serve. This Queens title once again proves his versatility and ability to adapt to different surfaces, cementing his place as a favorite at major tournaments. After achieving glory in London, Alcaraz now sets his sights on Wimbledon, where he aims to reaffirm his dominance and continue leaving his mark on the tennis world. Carlos Alcaraz is already the Spanish tennis player with the best record on grass. Believe it or not, Carlos Alcaraz is already the Spanish player with the best record on grass, at just 22 years old. The Mercian, world number 2, added to his collection by winning the ATP Queens 2025 final against Jiri Lehecka. He now has 4 titles on the surface, 2 at Wimbledon and 2 at Queens, remarkable, considering he didn't arrive at the tournament with high expectations. How much money does Alcaraz earn for the Queens title? The player from El Palmar takes home a check of €471,755, while Lehecka, the runner-up, earns €253,790. Carlos Alcaraz leaves Queens with 500 more points in his yearly tally, which cements him as the top player of the current season. He leads the 2025 race with a 2,240-point lead over Jannik Sinner, his closest challenger. Alcaraz takes home prize money totaling €471,755, while Jiri Lehecka, the finalist, earns €253,790. The Czech also picks up 330 points, moving him into the top 20 for this season. Carlitos leads the tour this year in several categories: most matches won, 42, most titles, 5, and most prize money earned. He's already accumulated €6,440,383. Alcaraz, it feels great when rivals are amazed by my shots. Spain's Carlos Alcaraz said it feels great when his rivals are amazed or congratulate him on his shots. The Mercian, who reached the Queens final after defeating Roberto Bautista on Saturday, received praise from the player from Castellón after a stunning shot in the first set, an image that's becoming a regular occurrence in his matches. It depends on the score, too. Today it happened on the set point of the first set. I'm glad they enjoyed or were amazed by the shot I hit. Those kinds of plays, we try to make them happen, we look for those moments. I love executing them, and that's why I enjoy playing tennis. When rivals are amazed by my shots, it feels great, said the Spaniard at a press conference. This Sunday, Alcaraz will play the Queens final against Jiri Lehecka, with the chance to become the second Spaniard in history to win this title twice, after Feliciano Lopez, who did so in 2017 and 2019. It's great to be back in a final. It's special for me to play here at Queens. I feel good. My confidence is very high, and as I've said many times, the more you win, the more confidence you have. I hope I feel even better tomorrow. With his win over Bautista, Alcaraz has become the 3rd fastest player in history to reach 250 wins, only behind John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors. I'm very happy to join the group of legends and to be the 3rd fastest to reach 250 victories. It's incredible. We don't usually pay much attention to stats, but once you find out, it feels great, he said. Alcaraz frustrated with chair umpire after penalty. She wanted the spotlight. Carlos Alcaraz had a tough time in the round of 16 at the ATP 500 grass tournament in Queens, London. 3 hours, 30 minutes? Are we on clay? He wrote on the camera after winning his marathon match against Jaume Munar, 6-4, 6-7, 7, 7-5. The Mallorcan put up fierce and high-quality resistance, saving 2 match points in the tiebreak, at 6-4 for Alcaraz, losing the first with a double fault. The Roland Garros champion was on the edge and also had to deal with one of his usual on-court complaints, which has many supporters on the ATP Tour. The 25-second serve rule. The issue is that the countdown clock is currently triggered automatically, without chair umpire intervention, right after the previous point ends, regardless of what just happened, even if the point was intense. It can even happen that the crowd is still on its feet celebrating a great rally. At 5-5 in the second set, Carlos Alcaraz was penalized with a warning by British umpire Kelly Rask, who has experience officiating Wimbledon finals. On the next infraction, he had to go straight to a second serve, losing the first. Alcaraz approached the chair, clearly upset, and asked, "Why?" He explained to the umpire, "The point ends and I'm at the net. I have to get the towel. I need to do my routine." Kelly Rask pointed out that the ball kids could bring him the towel to save time. "Yes, they bring it sometimes, and still I don't have time," the Spaniard complained again. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last. Players are asking for understanding depending on the nature of the point, arguing the umpire should have some discretion. But officials always claim they don't control the timer. "But you're the one penalizing me," Novak Djokovic once argued at Roland Garros for the same reason. "I had several issues with that today. I don't get it. I also think it's the umpire's problem. Maybe she wanted the spotlight," But anyway, it's a rule that needs to change, Alcaraz lamented. They need to show a bit more flexibility. We've played 3 hours, we finish a long point at the net, they should give us more time. There are many situations where everything is slow, but the clock keeps ticking, and we can't properly prepare for the next point. If you can't prepare the right way, you can't play the point right, and that's not good for the show, Alcaraz insisted in the press conference. Tough blow for Carlos Alcaraz at Queens. The Spanish tennis player loses his main coach for this tournament, Juan Carlos Ferrero, with Samu Lopez taking over. Carlos Alcaraz has a major challenge at Queens. The Spanish tennis player chose this ATP 500 to make his debut on grass and gain rhythm ahead of Wimbledon, but he is also one of the main contenders for the title. He won it in 2023, although last season he fell in the quarters to Jack Draper. This year he has a chance to go further and earn important ranking points. The world number 2 started the tournament with good vibes after defeating Adam Walton in his London debut. Despite resistance from the Australian, Carlos managed to claim the win in 2 sets. However, the Spaniard will have to cope with a very significant absence in his team for this tournament, the absence of Juan Carlos Ferrero. Carlos Alcaraz loses Ferrero at Queens. The Mercian is without the support of his main coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero, at Queens. The former Valencian tennis star is Alcaraz's right hand and was a key figure in his comeback at Roland Garros, which allowed him to win that Grand Slam again. However, after such intense weeks, Ferrero is stepping back and didn't travel with Alcaraz to London. Instead, Samu Lopez will take over as Carlos's lead coach, as has already happened several times this year, with great success. The Alicante-born coach led the bench in the first 2 tournaments Alcaraz won this season, first in Rotterdam, then in Monte Carlo. Expectations are high for Queens. For a player like him, the goal is to win tournaments, but being aware that the key is to keep preparing and accept that it won't be easy, especially after a long clay season and now switching surfaces. Then comes that middle week where things are fine-tuned and adapted, and then Wimbledon. He'll definitely arrive ready, Lopez said before Alcaraz's Queens debut.